We are joined with Ian Goodwin in the studio, and at the moment we're going over some of the incidents that the Coast Guard have covered since Ian was last on air.
Just going back to the incidents, Daniel, finishing off in September was Saturday the 26th of September, which is 7:15 in the evening. We were asked to go to Sheppey Creek, where a yacht was aground and requesting assistance. When we arrived, we discovered that another yacht was assisting the casualty by towing them into deeper water, so all was well there. Moving on into October, on Friday the 2nd of October, 3:30 in the afternoon, we were asked to attend the Sheerness docks to assist in a medivac from the PS Waverley. And basically what happened was we assisted in transferring a female casualty from the Waverley to a waiting ambulance, which transported her to the Medway Hospital. On Saturday the 3rd, in the early hours of the morning, only 2 o'clock in the morning, we were asked to go and attend the all-tide landing to meet and greet an 8.5 metre yacht called the Aquila. Following an engine breakdown, they had been towed in by the Sheerness lifeboat. Wednesday the 7th, in the evening, asked to go to Sheerness, where a boat was reported to be on fire. When we arrived, it was basically a rubbish fire on the beach, being attended to by nearby inhabitants. And having ascertained that this was the source of the original request, we said everything was nothing untoward, and we were stood down. Friday the 9th, just after midnight, again, 23-foot cabin cruiser Sea Mist had to be towed in by the Sheerness lifeboat, having run aground off the Yantlet Creek. Basically, we gave them safety advice. Saturday the 10th, you can see we've been busy virtually every day. 6:30 in the evening, we were asked to mount a search for an overdue fishing party of 4 persons, which had failed to return to Sheerness as planned. Whilst we were mustering, a further report was received from the first informant, confirming that all members of the fishing party had now arrived back safe and well. Good, that was excellent from that first informant's point of view.
Yeah.
Obviously these 4 individuals had gone out and said, this is when we're coming back. If we don't get back by this particular time, then you might think there's something wrong. And obviously the first informant thought, gosh, better call the Coast Guard, better be safe than sorry. So that was a good call from whoever that first informant was. On Sunday the 11th in the afternoon, another 22-foot yacht at Queenborough All-Tide Landing had to be towed in by the Sheerness lifeboat after it developed transmission problems, and again we gave safety advice. Saturday the 17th in the evening, whilst on patrol, we were asked by the wardens at the Riverside Country Park to investigate a report of a jet ski in the area causing a nuisance. We went to the Strand at Gillingham, where we spoke to a number of jet ski users and passed on safety advice. And the final one, Sunday the 18th, basically this was worrying, this one, because we were tasked by Thames to investigate a report of a microlight crashing into the sea near Minster Lees. Now that reminded us of that microlight which actually crashed a few years ago. And on arrival, we observed a weather balloon being recovered from the water by a yacht in the location where the microlight was reported to have landed, and we concluded that the crashed balloon was mistakenly thought to have been a microlight, and when we stood down. Just going back to the incidents in October, towards the end of October, Thursday the 22nd of October at 7 o'clock in the evening, we were asked by Kent Police to assist in the search for a 70-year-old female who was known to get in a confused state and wandered off from her carers. The search area was defined, which centred on 4th Avenue at Eastchurch, and within a few minutes after the search had started, she was found. And just to remind you that we do have a sort of science that sits behind searching, which basically means we can actually try and find these individuals as quick as possible. And this Thursday we did a very big exercise organised by one of my colleagues called Tim Judge, basically called Exercise Whistler, where we had to go out and search for 2 missing persons. He was one and his grandson was another, and each had different medical conditions, and it was a very useful exercise, hone our searching techniques. Thursday the 29th of October, we were asked to search for a fishing boat which had failed to return ashore as planned. The weather throughout the day had been particularly foggy, and concern for the boat's owner had reached the point where a search was deemed necessary. The search area having been defined, a search party attended at Minster Shinglebank, where the boat was known to have been launched. Inquiries were made in the area of the boat owner's address to ascertain further details of the boat's description. A short time after the search began, the fog lifted and a boat was observed making its way towards the Shinglebank. This boat proved to be the one which was missing, and it transpired that the owner had become disorientated in the fog and decided to anchor in shallow water where he could happily fish in safety until fishing visibility improved. And the final one in October was on the Friday the 30th, which was at 4:30 in the afternoon. We were asked to look for a yellow inflatable craft which was reported to be in trouble. On arrival, we quickly identified the object to be a mooring buoy, and there was no distress, basically. Moving on to the last two in November, Sunday the 1st, we were paged by Thames in the afternoon to meet and greet the Sheerness lifeboat, who had rescued two men from a 4-metre boat named Suzanne from the Shivering Sands Towers, whilst en route from Gravesend to Herne Bay. The casualty craft had neither radio nor flares, nor were any life jackets available. The lifeboat considered the conditions to be too dangerous for a tow to take place, and the casualty craft was therefore left at the Shivering Sands while the occupants were removed to safety at Sheerness. And finally, on Wednesday the 4th, we were asked to meet and greet a 24-inch craft called Stornoway at the Queenborough Tide Landing because it had engine failing and being towed in by the inshore lifeboat. So we gave more safety advice. And that's it for this round in terms of casualties, Daniel.
So Ian, if a club, a group or even a school would like a safety talk, what are the useful contact numbers they can contact the Coast Guard on?
The best person to contact would be the North Kent Sector Manager, who's Colin Ingram, and he can be found at the following address: North Kent Sector Base, Keames Yard, Island Wall, Whitstable, Kent, CT5 1AX. I'll read that out slowly again. That's Colin Ingram, who's the North Kent Sector Manager at the North Kent Sector Base in Keames Yard, Island Wall, Whitstable, Kent, CT5 1AX, and you can contact him on 01227 772 466. I'll say that number again: 01227 772 466, and his email address is colin.ingram, that's INGRAM, colin.ingram at mcga.gov.uk. I'll repeat that again: colin.ingram at mcga.gov.uk.
Now, we've been doing that little brain teaser throughout this evening's show, so if you could just go over it for us and let us know what the answer was.
The definitions are quite straightforward. Underway means not attached to the ground, and making way means moving through the water. It's as simple as that.
So Ian, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along this evening.
Thank you for inviting me.
We'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Daniel. Good night, everyone.
That's Ian Goodwin from the Sheppey Coastguard here at your very own radio station, BRFM 95.6.